How's it going, everybody? It is Thursday, December 14th. Happy Friday Eve, everybody. MaestroDMX will be coming out here today, hopefully. This video is actually covering that new update. So this is what you've all been waiting for. Gobo support, Color Wheels support. I did do another video already talking about this update with regards to the networking features that are coming out. So if you want to check that out, check out that other video that I uploaded just recently. I will link that here in the video channel description as well if you want to go back and watch that. But today's video will be covering Gobo wheels and color wheels and the different types of fixtures that you can implement those features on to get functionality out of Maestro into those fixtures. So first and foremost, when you update your MaestroDMX unit, before you update it, I definitely suggest that you back up your fixture profiles and back up your stages. You never know with an update, it may reset some settings, it may change some things, it may wipe out those settings. So it's always safe to make a backup of those things that you've created in Maestro. So again, your stages and your custom fixture profiles. You can back up your stages very easily. Go to your stage, select the stage you want to back up, click the three dot at the top there, and choose download stage. That will download a file for that stage backup. And then if in the case of an update, you lose those stages, you can easily add them back by just clicking on add. Once you have that backup file, choose restore from backup and drag and drop that backup file in place to recreate that stage that you lost. And with regards to fixture profiles, same thing, go to the fixture profiles tab, choose those custom fixture profiles that you want to back up. Any fixture that has that little user icon next to it is a custom profile, so definitely make sure you back those up. Any ones you don't want to lose in the case of an update, wiping those out. So definitely make sure you back those up, but choose that profile you want to back up. Click on the three dots at the top again, and choose download fixture profile. That will download a backup file of that profile that you can then restore in the event that Maestro does wipe out those settings. Now to restore your profile, same thing applies. From the fixture profile tab, click on add at the top, choose restore from backup, and then drag and drop that profile file that you just downloaded back into Maestro to restore that custom fixture. You got to do that one at a time, so don't drag a bunch of profiles over, only drag one at a time over, but you can restore those profiles very easily using this method. Now once you've updated your system, you will find that it shows it is running version 1.1 of the Maestro update. Now when you first update, I do suggest doing a full refresh of your browser, just in case anything is being cached in the browser. On Windows, Control-Shift-R will do a full refresh. On Mac, you'll have to look that up. I don't know the exact codes for that. But you do want to clear your cache, clear your cookies on your browser to make sure that none of that stuff is cached from the previous version. But once you have your update installed, you are now ready to start adding in your Gobo and color wheel colors and your Gobos themselves. And I'll walk you through a few different fixtures that you can set up in Maestro using Gobo wheels, using color wheels, or using a combination of the two. So let's switch our video over here just for a minute to show a few different fixtures that we're going to set up today. We are going to work on setting up a moving head fixture which has a Gobo wheel and a color wheel built in. We're also going to set up a very simple derby effect light, which is a mini Quinta that I have set up here as well. And then we are also going to work on adding a laser into Maestro. So these are a few different fixtures that you can set up. A lot of these fixtures you'll find will have multiple colors listed on one channel, and that's where you're going to want to use a color wheel. And then these fixtures will also have they'll have like with regards to a laser, they will have specific laser objects or specific Gobos. So with regards to like a moving head, you'll have Gobos that you'll want to set up. With a laser, you'll just have those different laser effects, those different things that the laser draws. So you will want to set those up. So anything that's a Gobo or a drawing or an effect that the laser puts out, that would be your Gobo wheel support. And then again, any channels that have multiple colors, that's where you'd want to set up a color wheel. So we're going to start moving right along with that moving head fixture here. That is that 80 watt Sheds LED spot fixture. We're going to go to our fixture profiles. And I already have a custom profile created for that. But we are going to modify this profile a little bit here. And so in the profile manual, we'll go through the manual here. I have this fixture running in 10-channel mode, so we're going to find that 10-channel description for this mode here. And as you see, this fixture is already set up properly with pan and tilt, our dimmer, and our strobe value, which I like just setting to a static value. Obviously, your preference, how you want to do it. And then channel 5 is our color wheel channel. So we'll start with that one. So once you open your color wheel, you're going to see there's a new option under color wheel that's called steps. And this is where you're going to add your individual colors to that color wheel. So all you do is you click the button that says add color. That will add the first color to the list here. We're going to name this one white based on what we see here in the manual. So channel 5 color wheel white is DMX value 0 through 7. So once we enter the name of the color, we're going to choose the color from the color picker here. By default, white is the one that's selected. So red, green, and blue maxed out makes white. So that one's already set and ready to go. And our manual says that white value could be any value between 0 and 7. So you will find this a lot with your fixtures. There'll be a range of values that you can set to set that color. So you can really pick any value between 0 and 7 here in the DMX value list. I typically pick the first one, but feel free. You can pick in between. Does not really matter too much as long as you pick one of those numbers between 0 and 7. So we're going to set this one to 0 here. And now we have another color to add, and that is our red color. So we will click that add color button again. This one we're going to just label as red. We're going to click on our color picker, and this time we're going to pick the color red from that list. And we will see if it is the proper red, it will have red maxed out, which is our R channel. Our G channel is our green channel, and our B channel is our blue channel. But red will be maxed out there. That's how you know that is the red color. Once you have that selected, you can click off that window. And now we're going to set the DMX value for red, which my manual says that is between 8 and 15. So we'll drag this over to any number between 8 and 15. We'll just set this one to 8. Let's add our next color. All right, so we have green coming up next. So we will label this as green. We're going to go back into this, and we're going to pick a green channel here. Now, there are 3 different greens. This one is like a lighter green. This one's a little bit of a darker green. That middle one is going to be your full green, but you can also change these values in here. If the green channel is set to 255 and red and blue are 0, that's pretty accurate to be a green channel. So once you have that set, just click off. And now we're going to set the DMX value for that green channel, which is between 16 and 23. So we'll just set that to 16 here. We'll add our next color, and that is going to be blue. So we will type out blue. Open up that color picker again. Click on a blue color, and again, there are a few different blues. There is a light blue, there's a blue, and there's more of a bluish purple. We'll pick that blue one in the middle, and again, you'll see red is 0, green is 0, blue is 255, and that is our blue color. So we can click off now, and we're going to set that DMX value for blue, and that is any value between 24 and 31. So we'll set that one to 24. And as you see, as I'm clicking these colors, it also sets the color of that window. So that's a quick little view to see what color is being set as well. Excuse me. And we will add another color here, and that is going to be yellow. So we will label this one as yellow. Click our color picker, find yellow in the list. And a yellow is a mixture of red and green maxed out, so that fits pretty well there. So that one we've picked, so we can click off. We see it's now set to yellow. And we're going to change that DMX value in yellow as any value between 32 and 39. So let's set that to 32. We got a couple more colors to set up here. Next color will be pink. So we will label that as pink. Now pink's a bit harder to get accurate. This is a purple color, so red and blue mixed together. But there is one way you can quickly look up the hex code for pink. So as you see here, we have this hex window. We also have red, green, and blue windows. We're going to use hex to our advantage here to set an exact match for pink. So what you can do in Google search, you can just Google search the word pink color hex code, and obviously change this to whatever color you want to set. But pink color hex code will do a quick search, and that will show you that hex code for the color pink. So you can copy that code, just don't copy that pound symbol, but you can copy everything else. Paste that in, and that will set our pink color. If we click off, we'll see that's kind of a pinkish color there, so we are all set with pink. And now we're going to go back to our manual and see what value we need to set for pink, and that is a value between 40 and 47. So let's drag that picker along, and we'll just set that one to 41. They don't always have to be perfect here. As long as it's between those values, you are good to go. So our next color is our light green color. So we'll label it as light green here. We're going to click our color picker again. And we can, again, if we want to, we can use that hex code lookup to get an exact match for light green. And that shows that that hex code is 90EE90. So we're going to paste that one in here. Save it. And there is our light green color. And we are going to set our value for that, so we'll go back to our manual. Light green is 48 to 55. So we'll set that to a value between 48 and 55. And we are good to go with that one. And we got one more color to add here, and that is our light blue color. So we'll click on Add Color, label this one as light blue. Click our color picker. And we did have that aquamarine color there, but we will double check to make sure that fits perfectly. So let's do a light blue hex code search here. And that one says it should be ADD8E6. That one is not correct, so let's just paste that in there. And there is our light blue. As we see, that's more of a lighter blue there. And we will set that DMX value again, so we'll go back to our manual, find the light blue channel, and choose 56 to 63. So we'll set a value between, and now our light blue value is set. Now you will find that a lot of your moving heads will then move on to, once it goes through all the colors, it will then move on to a split color. If you want to, you can set those. I'm not going to set those in this example. I generally don't use the split colors myself. But if you do choose to use those, I would suggest, picking a color that mixes those two colors together. Because Maestro doesn't currently give you the option to pick the two colors that are split. This may come in a future update. But for right now, you probably just want to set those core colors on those moving heads. So once we have all our colors picked in our color wheel, we make sure those DMX values are all set properly for those colors, and those colors are all picked properly. Once we have that all set to go, we just click on Save Channel, and we've now created that color wheel setting for that fixture. So we now see all those colors are built. So once we load that fixture into Maestro, it will start using those colors. And what Maestro will do is it will find a color that closely matches the color that it's displaying on the other fixtures in the same fixture group, and it will set that color on that color wheel. So next up, let's work on those Gobos. So with regards to Maestro, with Gobo wheels, you would set your channel to Gobo. And now we're going to go and edit that channel. And I've already created some Gobos here. And again, it's very similar. And I will just go back through and we'll just recreate all of these here. So once you open Gobo, you're going to see that new option for steps there again under Gobo. So we're going to add our first Gobo here. So for our first Gobo, that is just our standard wide open Gobo of white, so that just open circle. We still want to use that sometimes. So we'll just call this one, we'll just call this Gobo 1. Or actually, we'll just call this open. And it already has a value of 0, so we are set to go. There is no color picker or anything, so you just need to label it instead of value. Pretty easy here. So our next one will be our Gobo 1. This one starts at a value of 9. 9 to 17, so we'll just set it in between there, and we are good to go with that first Gobo. We'll go to that second Gobo. Gobo 2 is between 18 and 25. So we'll pick a value between and set it. And this will likely go a lot faster for you as well, because you are just labeling and setting. So Gobo 3 is 26 to 34. We'll set a value there. Next one is Gobo 4. Gobo 4 is 35 to 42. So we'll set a value. Add another Gobo here. Gobo 5. This one is 43 to 51. Set our value. Move right along here. Gobo 6. 52 to 59. Set our value. And then set our next Gobo. And last but not least, Gobo 7. In this value we will set between 60 and 68. So we are good to go there. Now you will find on your moving heads that you may have additional gobo options for shake, to where it kind of shakes the gobo back and forth, as well as a rotation value. If you want to use those values, just do the same thing, add another step, label it, and then set that DMX range for your gobo setting. But for me, I'm just going to set the individual static gobos here. Once we have all those added, we can click on save. One thing you will notice as well is you do have this active slider. If you decide, oh, I don't really like that gobo, you can turn that gobo off. What I suggest doing is turning it off on your stage, but I will show you that here in a minute. But you can also turn it off in the profile if you want to keep the setting in there but not use it. You can just set that to inactive. But otherwise, you want any gobo you want to use to be set to active. Once you have those all added, click on Save Channel, and your gobos are now set up on your moving head fixture. So let's move back over to our webcam here for a moment. And we're going to pull up one of those fixtures that we just created on our stage. And again, if you're editing your fixture profiles, you will need to go back, delete those fixtures from your stage, and re-add them. But you can also go to your stage itself and edit your fixtures from the stage, editing those values for Gobo, for Color Wheel from there. But I do suggest making your life a bit easier. Set those values on the profile and then just re-add your fixtures. That way you don't, because if you edit them here, they won't save to that fixture profile. They're just going to save to the stage. But as we see here, if we look at those, again, we have all those colors defined on our color wheel. We have those gobos defined on our gobo wheel. We're missing the white gobo, but no worries there. So that fixture is set up. So if we single that fixture, we will see now that that fixture is lighting up. It's got a red hue to it because we're setting that red color right now. So that fixture is configured properly with Maestro with regards to gobos and color wheel support. You can also verify that your colors are set up properly if you single that fixture. Go back to your stage tab, go to the fixture group that you're using, which in my case, my movers are in secondary. We'll set that to a solid color option here. And we'll pick through some of our solid colors. So we'll choose yellow. We'll see that fixture is now displaying yellow. It looks a little white on the camera, but it is yellow. We'll change it over to our red. We'll see that fixture turn red. It is now red. So you can test those colors, make sure everything is good. We'll do one more. We'll do our purple. And we see now that fixture is displaying purple. So that is setting up your gobo wheels and your color wheels for your moving heads. It's fairly easy again with Maestro. Once you get that update, you'll see those new values under gobo and under color wheel, where you can set up those individual gobos and those individual colors in your color wheel. Now how about a different type of fixture? So we have a mini Kinta here. This is a derby fixture. So this is one that has very similar kind of style to its DMX addressing with regards to colors. This isn't a moving head specifically, but it is a fixture that has multiple colors set on one channel. And this is where you might take advantage again of setting up a color wheel on your particular fixture. As you see here, I have that fixture already set up in Maestro, but I will show you that fixture profile, just a quick overview of how I have that built out. So, Mini Kinta, now the built-in Mini Kinta profile on Maestro will not have those color wheels configured, but you can duplicate that fixture profile, create your own using that duplicate, and then you can modify that color wheel. And as you see here, I did the same thing following the manual instructions. Red is 6 to 20, that one's set to 10. Green is 21 to 35. Again, it's 33, so that fits within that range. Blue is 36 to 50, so 41 fits within that range. And then we have white, 51 to 65, 56 fits. And then we have a few mixed colors that I've also added, because again, mixing colors will sometimes look good as well. So I did do a red-blue mixture, which makes purple. So that is anything between 81 to 95, and as you see, I have that set to 87. And then I have that aqua channel as well, which is that blue-white. And that one I have any value between 141 to 155, so we have that set to 145. So that's another way you can set up your derby style fixtures or fixtures that have multiple colors on one channel. Obviously, set those colors specifically, set those DMX ranges like we saw again here previously. And then if you have some color mixing, try to find good ranges of those mixed colors. One thing you can also do, like I said, if it's red and blue, set red to 255, set blue to 255, see what color you get. It's another way to do those mixed channels. Pretty easy there. And one thing we did notice is, I did just notice here, is I was not displaying that mini Kinta window when I was talking. So we'll go over it here just one more time. Sorry everybody, you're going to hear me talk again. But I want to make sure you guys can all see what I'm actually doing here. So we'll go back to that mini Kinta. So as I said, that Maestro window doesn't have that color wheel feature built in just yet. So you can duplicate that fixture. Once you've duplicated it, it will pull up that fixture that you can modify, and then you can go through and edit those channels for your color wheel. And again, as you see here in the manual, those channels, this fixture does have colors all split on one channel. So this is a good use of that color wheel as well for your type of derby style fixtures. So looking at the manual here, our red value is between 6 and 20. We have that set to 10. We have it set to red. Green, we have it set to green between 21 and 35. It's set there. We have blue between 36 and 50. It is set there to 41 between 36 and 50. We have white, which is 51 to 65. Again, set there between 51 and 65, and white is chosen. And then we have a couple colors that are mixed that I've added here. And there's that red-blue channel, which starts between 81 to 95, and we have that set to 87. And then we have a blue and white channel, which is between 141 to 155. I've set that to an aqua channel and set it between 141 and 155. So that's another thing you can do if you have a derby style fixture like that mini Kinta fixture that has multiple colors all set on one channel. I suggest setting a color wheel and then setting those colors as specified in the manual. So we have that mini Kinta running over there on the top left of that video window. That is currently mixing some colors, but we can again go back to our show page, find our solid color. Right now it's doing that red-blue, so that purple mix. We can go through our list of colors here to see, make sure our colors are all set right. So we'll do our cyan, which is kind of that blue and white, which it did turn off for that one, but let's try a different color here that's a little bit closer. Let's do a light blue. There we go. And there's those blues and whites going on that fixture. We can go back through and do the same thing again, find a red color, and we'll see that fixture change to red. So that is working as intended within Maestro. So we have one more fixture that we will add today. We'll move our camera back to our camera and our Maestro window and our browser window here. And the last fixture we will play around with today is a 3-watt laser. This fixture also has a couple similar channels to a Gobo channel or to a color wheel channel. And I'll walk you through kind of how I built this profile as well. So if you have some lasers or some lasers built into fixtures that you want to set up within Maestro, might be a good idea to try this out as well for those fixtures. So again, we're going to go back to our fixture profiles tab. We're going to pull up that laser. And that is a Shed's 3-watt laser here. This is a 12-channel fixture. So I've already built out this fixture profile, but I will go through very quickly, going through those Gobo channels that I've created on this profile, along with that color wheel channel that I created following the manual pages. So looking at this fixture, we have a pattern channel on channel 2 and channel 3. And this is where I'm going to set up my Gobo wheel. So if you pull up this fixture, channel 2, there is Gobo wheel. If we edit this channel, we will see we have those steps set up. Now this was not pre-built. I've built these in myself. And what I found with this fixture, the manual was not very helpful as to what pattern we were actually setting. So what I suggest doing in that case is if you have a fixture that just says, you know, patterns are every 32 values or patterns are every 16 values, I suggest adding that fixture to your stage. So we're going to go to our stage here. Go down to that fixture that we've created. And instead of using a Gobo channel, we're going to set this channel over to a static value channel. So we now have that set to static value. And then what I suggest doing is going over to your control tab. We do need to make sure that that fixture, no fixtures are being singled. We do have one that's being singled right now, so we'll unsingle that one. And we're going to go ahead and single that 3-watt laser. So we only have that fixture going. Yep, and we do only have that fixture going now. What I suggest doing, like I said, set that channel that you want to use for Gobo, set it to static value to start. Then we're going to go over to the control tab. And by doing that, we now have a value that we can click and drag here. And this will help us kind of get a feel for those different patterns that we have available to us on those lasers. So I'm going to switch over to my Maestro and webcam view here. We're going to get a little fog going. Now, I will notice that my mini Kinta is currently lighting up. I don't have that built out perfectly just yet to work out with the blackout, so it does not black out currently. But you'll be able to adjust some settings here and there to kind of tweak that. But for now, we'll just assume, you know, that fixture isn't set up properly fully yet. But we're gonna go back to our stage. We're gonna unsolo that one so we get all our fixtures lit up here. We're gonna get a little fog going in this room, just so we can more clearly see those lasers. And there we go. We have some fog going in our room now. So we'll go back to our stage here. We're going to find that 3-watt laser. We're going to single that laser. So only that fixture is going. And unfortunately, on the camera, you probably don't see the actual beam as much as I do on my end. So just kind of take it as a grain of salt here. I'm going to go to my show page. We're going to change this color to something a little bit brighter from a laser standpoint. Let's do blue. There we go. Now we can see that laser a little bit better. All right. So like I said, we're going to go back to our stage, make sure that fixture channel that you want to set up as a Gobo channel has been changed. We're going to change this over to static. And we're going to go over to our control tab. And now we can slide that value around to see all of our different patterns that this laser uses. So as you see here, there is a pattern on 0. And like the manual said, once you go up to 33, so past 32, you'll see a new pattern. So 0 to 31 is our first pattern. 32 is our next pattern. So as you see, that laser has changed. What I suggest doing is writing down these values. So open up a notepad or post-it note, what have you, whatever makes it easier for you. Write down those values and write down what you see out of those fixtures. So in my case, I see a small circle. So I'm going to just write that down as small circle with a value of 33. But again, that 0 value is a big circle. I see a big circle. I'm going to write that down as big circle. And then I'll fill out that Gobo wheel here in a moment. So we'll go back through. So again, we saw that second pattern. We'll skim through. The next pattern should kick in here in a moment. So yep, 65, 64, that's a new pattern. We'll drag it up again. Should be 32 values, so 96. Yep, there's a new pattern. So as we see, that pattern changes. We'll drag it around some more. There's another pattern. So again, write down that number. Look at what the fixture is doing. Label it as what you want to label it as. Go back through this list a few more times here. So there's another pattern. Again, every 32. Find that value that sets that pattern and set that up. We go through the list again. There's another pattern. And so on and so forth. So once you have all those patterns figured out for your fixture, you can now go to your fixture profile. Go to your specific laser fixture, go to that Gobo tab, edit those channels, and fill in those values. So again, set it to Gobo wheel. And then name your steps. It doesn't really matter what you name them as. This is for your preference. But I would name them something that you can easily remember. Because again, you can deactivate those specific ones that you don't like. Maybe there are certain ones you just don't want to use. So you would set those. You can still set them up, but you can just turn them off. So as you see here, I did go through and I did set up the ones that I liked already. So we have the small circle, the big circle, the 2 bars, the 2 lines, and there's a squiggle one. And I've set all these to active. So again, you can do a Gobo channel on your lasers. So any fixture that has multiple patterns on a single channel will work great as a Gobo wheel. Like I said, go through the list of patterns either by dragging that static value, writing down the values for those patterns, and then building out a Gobo wheel. Or if you're lucky enough, the manual may just tell you what all those patterns are and the value ranges for them. But in my case, I'm not that lucky, so I did have to go through and do that step. But also with my laser, I have a color channel. So channel 12 is my color channel. And in this case, I'm going to set that up as a color wheel. And again, they're not very helpful with regards to your specific colors. So again, I suggest doing the same thing. We're going to go back to our stage. We're going to find that laser. Scroll down. We're going to change that color wheel value to a static value. And now we can go to that control page, find that channel, and drag around those values. So we'll switch back to our webcam here real quick. So as we see right now, this color value is kind of a rainbow value. Bunch of mixture of colors. You can kind of see that on the camera there. We'll just drag this value along, and oh, there's our first color. There's a light blue, there's a red, there's a green, there's a darker green, there's another light blue, there's a dark blue, there's a blue and purple, and then you start seeing mixtures of colors. So again, if your fixture profile or your manual does not have the individual colors set, it's definitely useful to set that channel to static, go through those values, find those colors that you want to set, write them down, and then you can go back and build your color wheel on that fixture profile. So we'll go back to our fixture profile here. We'll look at our 3-watt laser profile. We'll switch back to our browser so you can see what I'm doing here as well. And as we saw, color select is 0 to 63. So we're going to scroll down to that color wheel channel, edit that channel, and as you see here, I have those colors set up here on Maestro already. All the way between 0 and 63, and I picked all the colors that I like. So we got the purple, we got the blue, we got the light blue, we got that dark green, the regular green, and the red. I don't have the rainbow color in here, but you can add that if you want. The hardest part is just trying to pick a color that fits that rainbow. You could do a white color. So we can do add color. We'll just label this one as white. And that'll be our rainbow channel. We'll leave that set as 0 and add that. Once that's added and everything's good, you can save that channel. You are good to go on your color wheel. So again, if you want to view that, you can see all those color wheel settings there on that channel. But that's another way to use Maestro with regards to laser fixtures. And it really doesn't matter the type of fixture that you are setting up. If you have a fixture, maybe you have one of those multi-function fixtures, one of those 3 or 4-in-1s that has a laser, that has a derby, that has a bunch of other stuff, and those channels specifically have multiple colors set on one channel, or multiple functions, or have multiple patterns, things like that, you'll definitely see advantage to setting those patterns up as Gobo wheels and those multi-color channels up as color wheels. And again, if we switch back to that webcam, we see our laser set up there, already set up with those colors. And we will actually, I'll go back here, and we do need to fix our stage because that laser we did modify. So I'm just going to remove this fixture. It starts at 327. I'm just taking a mental note of where to put that. We will un-solo that to start. We'll remove that fixture here. And we said 327. So we're going to grab that again from our fixture profile. Everything is set up properly still there. So we got our color wheel and our Gobo wheels. So we will go to our stage. We're going to add that fixture back. That was added to the secondary group. And that started at fixture address 327. And boom, we are back with our laser working with our colors. Now if we want to verify those colors are all set up to our liking, we can again solo that fixture. We see now that is doing a blue color. We can go over to our show page, go to that secondary fixture group where that fixture is housed, and play around with those color palettes to make sure those colors are set up properly. So if I choose red, that should turn red. And there we go, we are red on that laser. If I choose green, we should see the same thing. We should see that laser change over to green. There we go. We are now rocking that green laser. And same thing if we want to go over to our white, we see that laser change over to that rainbow channel. And it does as expected. So we are now set up to use those fixtures within Maestro. I'm going to switch over to my stage here real quick. We'll switch that laser back on. Or we'll turn off that solo there on that laser. We're also going to remove this laser and re-add it, because we did add that rainbow channel. So we have 339 is our start address for that laser, so we will remove it and re-add it using that profile that we just created. .339, add her back to that fixture group. We have that laser working again, and as you see there, they are both rocking that rainbow color right now. We're going to check our layouts here because we did adjust a few fixtures. As we see, those lasers are at the bottom, so we're going to move this one up to the top here because that is on the other side of the arrangement. So we now have our two lasers arranged properly. We'll go back to our show page, go back to our secondary channel. We're going to set this back to our normal color that we use for this channel, which in my case, this is that sparkle group, so we can get those warm whites working on those bars. We'll move this back to our dance pattern here for Maestro. Check our primary. That's also set to dance. We'll check our blackouts here real quick. Everything's good there. Well, let's play some music.
If all of the kings had their queens on the throne, we would pop champagne and raise a toast to all of the queens who are fighting alone. Baby, you're not dancing on your own. Can't live without me. You wanna, but you can't. Na. Think it's funny, but honey, can't run the show on your own. I can feel my body shake. There's only so much I can take. I'll show you how a real queen behaves. No damsel in distress, don't need to save me. Once I stop breathing fire, you can't take me. And you might think I'm weak without a sword, but if I had one, it'd be bigger than yours. If all of the kings had their queens on the throne, we would pop champagne and raise a toast to all of the queens who are fighting alone. Baby, you're not dancing on your own. Just obey me, then baby, it's off with your head. Gonna change it and make it a world you won't forget.
And as you can see, those lasers are going through those different patterns. We can see our moving heads are all matching on color now. They're all rocking that red, orangish color right now. And those lasers are matching up with that color. We just saw those colors change over to a purple. The lasers are switching over as well, along with that derby light. So as we see there, with those color wheels, with those Gobo wheels, we now have more functionality out of Maestro. Our colors are matching on our fixtures for that specific fixture group. And those moving heads also now have color. And Gobos are working on those. It's kind of harder to see those Gobos, but they are outputting different Gobos on those fixtures, so it's no longer just a beam of light. So hopefully this video was helpful for you to walk you through those color wheels and those Gobo wheels with this new Maestro update, along with some of those fixtures that may not work for you right now, but once that update comes out, you'll start being able to set those fixtures up in Maestro. So again, if you have any type of fixture that has multiple colors being set via one fixture channel, that's where you're going to see the benefit of those color wheels. If you have fixtures with gobos or lasers with patterns, you'll definitely see benefits from setting up those as a gobo style type, and then defining those individual gobos or those individual patterns as steps under that type. But hopefully this video was helpful to all of you. I know you're all looking forward to this update, as I was as well. We should be seeing this update coming out tomorrow. There will also be a Maestro open office hours tomorrow evening. That starts at 4 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, or Pacific Daylight Time, or 7 p.m. Eastern Time. I will be on there as well with this update, showing you all the fancy new features. So if you're still having problems with your lights, even after watching this video and setting your own settings, definitely try to jump on that Zoom meeting tomorrow evening. Again, that's going to be December 15th, starting at 4 p.m. Pacific Daylight Time, or 7 p.m. Eastern. I'll be up on Zoom for 2 hours. I'll be able to walk you through a lot of these settings as well. But again, thanks for watching my video, and we'll see you in the next video.